Okay, folks, good morning. The time is now 9:55 a.m. As I did say, we're all starting on schedule and on time. We have a lot of people in the attendance right now, which you're thinking is that's 18. That's incorrect. We have a little more higher number because we have 3 groups here. So that's not the right number. So you got to realize numbers can change. First of all, I want to welcome everyone to the joint meeting. Today is a nice day. Happy Valentine's Day. And I do remind people as you're coming in to please mute. And as I'm muting you because that's what means you're interrupting someone who's speaking. And I will thank that person who is actually showing a good example of perfect timing. As a reminder, everyone, housekeeping rules is very important, and I have to remind everyone. Once a speaker is speaking, please do not unmute yourself. Please do not interrupt because everything is duty noted in this joint meeting. Everything is duty noted. There is a chat box. There is a reacting button that has the hand raise. There is also a chat. In the chat, you can put your comments in. You can also put it as private to send it to me, Deborah, or Joyce. I'm sorry, Deborah or me. Joyce is on a different line today. So you can send it to me or Deborah. And as a reminder, everyone, the housekeeping rules, we must show the courtesy when someone is doing a presentation or anything. We will get to your answers and questions like we did last month. So let's do our part to keep the meeting professional and show courtesy and respect. All right. And as you see, there is caption if you want it. If you need something else, please put that into the chat at this time. Now, on regular business today, I remind everyone one more time, keep your microphones unmuted. And I want to remind everyone before I make the motion, all minutes are on our website until the end of this week. So I do need to remind everyone, the minutes, it's called a summary minutes, and it's easier so you can read it and watch the video. That's how we can keep the meeting, everything duty noted. Now, I do need a motion from the floor. Someone could unmute themselves at this time to say their name. So please make a motion for the minutes. And a reminder, the minutes are on the website at the joint meeting page. I need a motion. Yes, Deborah.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Duty noted. Mm-hmm. Folks, I do need a second for the minutes, please. And to remind you, you can unmute yourself.
Chris, I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you, Joyce. Minutes passed. And Joyce, stay on the line because you're coming right up. At this time, I'm going to ask Joyce Levin to do her report because she has to leave early. And then we'll do OPWDD report. There is no ISC report. Joyce will explain that in just a second. Joyce, you're up.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Sorry, I have an echo on my phone, so I hope no one else is hearing this echo, but I hear myself speaking.
No, Joyce, there's no echo here, and I will make sure that everyone's microphones are muted. Duty noted.
Right.
Just like Karen.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending the meeting. As Chris said, we will not have anybody from ISC this morning, but this afternoon, please go on there on the meeting for 2 o'clock, which will explain the governor's budget and in reference to OPWDD programs. And I think Winnie will also discuss the night of position paper on this. How disappointed, unfortunately, we were with what we had requested was the 8.5% increase and a $4,000 increase for direct support staff. What we got was a 2.5% increase, which might seem very nice, but after years and years of neglect of the OPWDD budget and the agencies not receiving any increases, that really makes it extremely difficult for agencies to hire staff, which is, again, inhibiting providers from providing services, including day hab, makes it very difficult to staff a residential program. You know, and we know the governor's push at this point is to have people employed. Well, if we can't hire job coaches, or the individuals are going to make more money at the jobs they're going to work at than the job coaches are getting paid, it makes it very difficult for providers to provide services. So there will be the legislative breakfast, and I hope everybody, the virtual legislative breakfast is on March 3rd. The information has gone out about how to register for that. We will have the commissioner at the breakfast. There's a number of different legislators speaking. We have Joanne Chisholm from New York City, Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, speaking as well. And, you know, we will have different boroughs will be presenting on different items. Oh, I'm getting terrible feedback.
Joyce, I'm sorry
Okay.
to interrupt you. Can you hold on 1 second? Guys, I'm going to remind everyone that is not showing courtesy. Keep your microphones on muted, please. If you have a question for Joyce, please raise your hand. Joyce is not finished, and some of you are unmuting yourself. Please mute yourself. And I'm catching people right now. Madam Chairperson for the advisory, please keep an eye on that as well. And I apologize, Joyce, for that, but people have got to show a little courtesy when you're speaking.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. So as I was saying, the legislative breakfast will be March 3rd. It's virtual, and we will have translations in Spanish, French, Mandarin, and sign language interpretation also. So everybody should be able to participate. There'll also be a rally on March 10th in Staten Island. We don't know, we don't have the place yet, but information will be coming on that as well. We have to make our voices heard. There was a rally on Monday, which many providers and families participated in Albany. Senator Mannion was great in supporting the DD provider community. And I know that he is in very much support of the 8.5% increase and the $4,000 per direct care staff increase as well. Unless we address these issues, you know, our ability to hire people and get people trained who are qualified is going to become much more challenging as time goes on. So that'll be a big rallying cry, and we will send information out as we get it. With, you know, before, again, as we get it. So if we ask you to call your legislator, your senator, your assembly person to support us, that's very important. We know the budget is due April 1st, so we'll have one more meeting before that, and you know, we want to make sure that our needs are addressed going forward, so we can get people back into program and get people back to living great lives that they had prior to COVID, and providing the services. So I can't stress how important that is. You know, basically that's my information for today, is really pushing the breakfast and listening and watching out for emails and texts in terms of supporting the budgets when they, you know, or our counter proposals, and you know, keep your eye on what's going on. That'll be very important throughout the next month or so we can ensure that our voices are heard and some changes occur. So any questions, Chris?
Yes, before we do that, Joyce, just want everyone to know that I put it in the chat, the legislative link to register. as well as the meeting for this afternoon is also in the chat. And a reminder, everyone, those information is also on our website. Also, and I know a lot of people have been on our website, so I just want everyone to know that information is on the chat. Please look for it. If you didn't see it, please let me know on the chat. Joyce, there are two questions, and I'm going to actually, two people are actually backing you up. Matthew, Matthew, just put a link into the rally, not just the rally article, but there was an article for a pay raise, saying calling for pay raise. So we want to thank Matthew for that, because I'll make sure that's linked to our website. The second one is let's all get. This is great. I'm sorry I'm saying her name wrong because I'm at Bell Palsy. Rochelle, I'm saying her name wrong, so forgive me. Let's all get to Staten Island and rally choice, because it is where home and community-based service begins after the honor of Willowbrook, which I definitely agree with her on this one. So that's also in the chat. Everyone can see that. Those are the only two, unless Deborah, Brooklyn Chair, do you have anything for Joyce?
Yes.
Yeah, unmute yourself, because you went a little, you're clicking it too fast. I can't hear you. You're still muted. Go ahead.
Unmute me.
I don't control the mute buttons. Do that again and just click it once. Once Deborah comes back on, I will get her. Joyce, the second question is, there is a question for the group. W right there, so give me a second. They're asking this one question, Joyce. This is from a family that I'm not going to say their name because they asked not to mention. What they're asking is, how can I get on the list for the transition committee and provide information? Now, Deborah's here. I know Deborah can answer that question as well, but I do want to add this also. That information is on our website, and when you email us, it comes right back at you with all the meeting schedules as well. Deborah, you want to mention providing information, and then I know Joyce can want to mention anything else.
Yes, I will. First of all, yes, we do need as many people coming to the provider information committee, because it's for providers and families. It is very important that the professionals as / providers and the families, parents, or it could be siblings or any family member who has a child developmental disability or has or related, to work together, because we need to keep the services not just only intact, but we have to help improve them, and we have to improve the communication and dialect, because a lot of times when you have a child with developmental disabilities, OPWDD is a different world than when you're in the New York City Department of Education. So it's very important for families to understand, but at the same time, the professionals need to know how to work with the family. So this is a great opportunity for everybody to work together. My professional co-chair is Ms. Rose Sauls, and we do hold it on the second Wednesday of the month, and we do it by, with the way Ring Central, and it's very important. We do want people to participate with us. My other important thing I want to tell you is that the advisory council, we're part of the statewide, we will be working and seeing to be able to appear on the March 10th for that rally in Staten Island. I'm old enough to remember Willowbrook. Yes, I was a child then, because I remember Geraldo Rivera, but I do know what it means to have no services, and then all of a sudden you're starting to get services, but we have to make sure the staff that is hired to work with our children are treated well and paid well. And they need to be given the correct understanding of what they're coming into with their job, because there's so many things they can be doing to work with us. So also another important thing is that show up at the 5 Borough DD Council's legislative breakfast Friday, March 3rd. Yes, it's virtual, but yet it's important. Now, the way you can help us is every elected official has a social media page, and forward that information and ask them, are they going to be there? Now, for this afternoon, this is one thing we want to bring up. It's Ms. Schiff has decided that it should be 5 boroughs that will be participating. That's the full city. Now, we don't know how she'll be, if she will be able to answer any questions. So please put your questions as well as comments in the chat. We will make sure that Ms. Schiff and the IAC gets this information because it is extremely important. Also, again, we want to make sure everybody contacts your elected official. And that includes, I know we're focusing on the state because we need the budget passed, but we should also contact your city council, your state assembly, state senator, and also your Congress, as well as the citywide elected officials, because we need to let them know, because many of them share offices with our state elected officials. And please keep up if you can be at the rallies, great. If not, we understand it's not always easy, but please, let's all work together. And that's my comment. And Joyce, are you there still?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome. And you will be getting us the information, I know, for the Staten Island rally.
Yes, as soon as we have it.
And
I don't think there was the venue hasn't been solidified yet. As soon as we have it, we will send it out.
Appreciate that, because we know some of us who use Accessorite also need the information so we can book our trip to get there, make sure we get there on time. And also the other important thing is, both Joyce and I want you to please put your questions and comments into the chat, because we will see that Winnie Schiff from the IAC, they will get this. And we'll try to get your answers as best as we can. But we need everybody to work together. So again, Joyce, I want to thank you for all the help you've been giving us and in letting us know what the issues are for our families.
Oh, yes, no problem.
Yeah, I appreciate this very much, because we both are on the same page. We want the staff to be paid correctly. We want them to the right benefits, but we also want to make sure that our children can lead much more rewarding lives because we have the appropriate, well-paid staff. Joyce, if there's anything else or anybody else has questions for Joyce, please raise your hand.
I just want to add one thing. Joyce, can you mention the transition committee? Because I don't know if they're here.
Yeah, we can send them an email. So if you send me the name and email of the person who's interested, I can reach out to them to make sure that they send the invite to them.
I will check with them in a few minutes, but they don't want to mention their name here because they want to keep it private. The only question is they did answer this saying, "Oh, it is on the website," and I said, and I just gave them the answer, yes, it is. So in one way, they're just not sure because they got confused last month with the meeting change date.
Okay.
So they do want to say thank you, Joyce and Debbie.
You're welcome.
Problem. Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Let me just double check because I am using the other one. No, there's no other questions for you, Joyce, at this time.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to stay and listen to the meeting for a little bit, but I'll have to get off in about 10 minutes.
Okay. So,
we understand, but thank you, Joyce.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and hope to see everyone on March 5th.
March 3rd. March
3rd. Oh, my goodness.
It's okay,
oh, my
Joyce.
Goodness.
Joyce, I don't like to show up on a Sunday. I'd like to do it on a Friday because Sunday is somewhere we can all maybe get ready. Well, have some fun on.
I want to rest. I need to rest.
It's okay.
Yeah, March 3rd. March 3rd. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
No problem.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Now, let's move on. And since we're on a roll today, let's introduce I can't say her name. Madam Chair, can you help me say it?
Nina
Nina?
Gretz, please.
Yes. Gretze. Okay.
Sorry,
What do you
Nina.
need?
You can't pronounce some words now because of the Bell's palsy.
Yes.
Thank
Good
you.
morning, everyone. Is my sound okay?
Nina, you sound so clear. I can hear you
very
without the
good.
microphone.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that.
No, I can see you crystal clear. You're so clear that I can see the walls behind the walls.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to talk briefly about the activities that are happening at OPWDD right now. You're probably all aware that White House announced on January 30th that the public health emergency will end on May 11 of this year, and OPWDD is preparing guidance for providers regarding the unwinding of COVID flexibilities. The federal declaration, which authorized flexibilities of some Medicaid and waiver rules, including the provisions under Appendix K, which we call our emergency amendment. At the end of the public health emergency, the provision in effect now under Appendix K will remain in effect for another 6 months. And OPWDD HCBS waiver, we plan to renew in 2024, next year, for another 5-year period. And prior to 2024 renewal, OPWDD may pursue another amendment to address some of the challenges of post-COVID service delivery. This quarter, OPWDD is working on examining some providers' ARPA bonus payments to ensure that providers received the appropriate funding for the employee bonuses. As you remember, as a background, this last year in OPWDD direct care workforce, distributions included COVID-19 service payments known as HEROES Fund, workforce longevity and retention bonuses, and COVID-19 vaccination incentive payments. So we are looking at some of the providers' payment structure to ensure that the agencies receive the appropriate funding. We are also working on managed care evaluation. In 2022, OPWDD retained Guidehouse to assess the quality and outcomes of managed care for people with developmental disabilities, including their experiences and satisfaction. And OPWDD issued Guidehouse's initial report to the New York State Legislature in January. Guidehouse, with the assistance of OPWDD and through the engagement with the stakeholders community, continue to research and evaluate the potential use of new service models, including managed care, and to support the goals and objectives outlined in our strategic plan. Upon completion of this engagement and collaboration in spring 2024, Guidehouse will submit a final report to OPWDD with a recommendation for a service delivery model that will be best position our agency to meet our strategic objectives. We are also working on care coordination program evaluation. In December, OPWDD issued an RFP for a comprehensive evaluation of its care coordination system. The procurement will identify a qualified consultant to evaluate the effectiveness of care management services delivered through OPWDD's 7 care coordination organization. And the results of the evaluation will help OPWDD to understand how it can improve the quality and effectiveness of care coordination and the outcomes for people who receive care management services. And all that information can be found on OPWDD website. We have also a couple housing updates. In 2022, using the
One second, Nina, this is Chris. Nina, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but someone's being very rude to you, and I'm getting very upset. Guys, okay, Wayne and everyone, guys, I'm going to remind us again. Please mute yourself. Nina from OPWD is speaking, and we need everyone to hear. We do have
I'm
a person. I know, Nina, I know you're good, but we do have someone who has an hearing, so we cannot, she's trying to hear you, and I have to make sure that your voice they're hearing you loud and clear, but someone interrupting is show disrespect. I have to keep the meeting in order for you and anyone. Please keep your microphones muted. I'm sorry, Nina, to interrupt you. Please continue.
It's okay. It's okay. So in last year, using ARPA funding, OPWDD issued a RFA that solicited service providers to expand and enhance supportive housing and family care opportunities. The primary intent was to give people residing in the supervised area the opportunity to transition to more integrated settings through the use of technologies and other types of supports. And also, we have received innovative proposals at OPWDD, and there was a good response to the RFA, which is very exciting. And OPWDD is evaluating these proposals, and we anticipating that the letters will be issued in February by the end of the month, announcing the awards for those RFAs. We are also working on expanding of integrated supportive housing, and this is as you know, this is affordable, accessible, non-certified housing options for people with developmental disabilities. And this program, integrated supportive housing, is also called the ISH program. And we announced in December, we announced a second funding round for ISH projects and the applications. And this round was for the proposals that do not require capital funding from OPWDD, but will provide services for housing subsidies for people who will who will be enrolled in this program. And the applications were due January 20th, and we received a good number of the applications, and more information about this program can be found also on our OPWDD website. And that's it for me today.
Sorry, Nina, I used the wrong mouse. Before I do that, Joyce, do you have any questions? Because Joyce is on the phone and I can't tell if she has a question. Joyce?
She probably signed out.
Yeah, okay, no, never mind. She just told me she's good and she left. Deborah, do you have a question for Nina before I do the hand raise and the questions?
Yes. Yes.
Deborah, you're muted.
Try again.
Debbie, Madam Chairperson, I just clicked on you to unmute. Just wait till I do that. Then I'll do it. And click OK. I just clicked you. Why'd you refuse it? Do it again. Because I have to get to these questions. You're good. Speak.
Okay. Nina, can you all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
My questions are this. In reference with the managed care, have they given you a timeline for that?
For the managed care, we are expecting that in spring of next year, in 2024, that the final report will be submitted to OPWDD with recommendations for service for which direction OPWDD should go.
Okay. The other thing is in reference with the housing program. Are these in the different new buildings that have been built around Brooklyn where they're taking our individuals?
The e-shy program that the round that was offered
Yes.
last
Yes.
year, that without the capital funding, but it was we're seeking the application for the providers who want to become a housing provider, ish providers, but without the capital funding. Let's say if you have a good relationship with the landlord and you have vacant apartments and you can provide services to the individuals with disabilities, that would be that would be the case when you are eligible for that program.
Does that also count if, say, that if, say, the child and the parent live in an apartment, parent passed away, that there's a way of keeping the individual to still live in the apartment with supports?
Correct. But you will need to find, right, the parent will have to work with the care manager to try to find the provider who will support this individual through the housing subsidy.
Okay. And that's all my questions for the moment. But thank you.
Okay.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do today to make it easy for everyone. I'm gonna do the hand raise first, then I'm gonna read the questions that I got from the chat. First, I'm gonna start with Lisa. Can she unmute herself and bring up to Nina your question or comment, whatever? Lisa B, you can speak.
Yes, that's me. Can you hear me?
Lisa, I can hear you loud and clear and you look nice. So
Oh, thank you.
I'm just complimenting everyone with the screen.
So, my son, he's 17. He's at Melmark, Pennsylvania. He has severe autism. Some label it level 3 autism. I don't know if any of you are familiar with level 3 autism. It would be completely inappropriate for him to be in a city setting where he can walk out the front door and there would be like neighbors right next door who don't understand autism, and there's cars driving by that's dangerous for him because he doesn't understand danger. He needs to be in a setting like where he is on a campus where they have a large area, and when he does bolt and take off running, which he does often, there are tons of people on the campus who know, oh wait, that's Caleb. And there's always assistance for him. He has a lot of aggressive behaviors, difficult behaviors. I'm not finding any program for residential services that is appropriate for him. And he needs to be, like I said, not in the city where he would likely die. He needs to be in a setting that is the safest for him, which is a campus. That's why he's not in the house. That's why he's not in Brooklyn. That's why he's where he is. He needs to be there. And so I'm not finding anything in New York State that he needs. And I know he's not the only child like him because everyone in the household, in the group home where he lives, is like him. So the children who are on the most extreme end of the autism spectrum, there doesn't seem to be anything available for them. There's no way he's going to be able to live on a typical block in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. He won't survive that. And for him to be in a community, like, I don't know where this push came from, where they should be out in the community. They weren't thinking about people like Caleb. They weren't thinking about the people who would walk in front of a moving car. They weren't thinking about people who, to this day, will take off all their clothes in the street because they just feel like doing it. and I could go on and on and on about the behaviors and the dangers and the things that he does that are violent towards random people. If the police were called on him, he wouldn't survive that interaction. So children like him, who, I mean, he's a young adult at this point, he's 17. We know what the situation is, but there doesn't seem to be anything available for a person like him right now. And I'm surprised by it because there are so many other kids that are on the severe end who cannot ever have a job, who is completely nonverbal.
Lisa, so thank you for sharing your information about your child. So I have a couple of questions, and probably the best way would be you to connect outside of this forum, right? So I just want to ask quickly. Right now, he's in a Pennsylvania residential schools, and that is through the state through the State Department of Education, correct?
Yes, it's through the New York City Department of Education.
Okay. And what year he's planning to graduate the school or receive his diploma?
They can have him there until he's 21 is the longest.
Okay. We have.
And I was told by Melmark, that's the name of the school, that because there's so few placements, even in the inappropriate settings, I should be already looking into these things. So, but my question is, are there campuses still to provide for people who are on the more severe and people who are level 3 autism, who don't have any understanding of danger or anything like that, who, you know, they need a crisis para within arm's reach. That's what it says on his IEP. A crisis para within arm's reach during all waking hours. That is the language. So
we have a special process, and it would be helpful if you drop your phone number in the chat. So I will connect you with a person with a residential school specialist in our region 4, and she will walk you through. She will give you a brief summary of what is being done and programs that are available. And we are following a very there is a special process in place for the kids who are in residential schools and who need placements with our residential providers in New York State. So it's not only New York City, we have programs throughout the state that focus and specialize in supports, special supports for the individuals with IDD. But I think the best way is just send your phone number and someone will connect with you.
Okay, just so you know, I already made contact with OPWDD. I have already spoken to the person who actually the supervisor who gives the packet to, assigns the packet to the individual who will be sending out his packet to the places that they would say is appropriate for Caleb. And I've already, and based on the information I received directly from OPWDD, it does, like I said, I haven't received anything saying that there's something like that I just described to you. So I've already made contact with the person who is handling Caleb's paperwork.
Okay, who's the person?
Yes, I can give you her.
Please start back up again. We have Nancy had a question for you. OPWDD also pays for transition service should they have a placement available in New York State for children. And she add after age 21. Nina? It's in,
Chris, can you repeat the question? I'm not sure I heard you well.
it's in the main chat, so I'm just gonna.
They
let
want
you
to know: Do you have a transition coordinator that helps the families and their children are living in the New York City Department of Education to go into OPWDD services?
Yes, we do. And I think the process is initiated through the front door. And for the kids who are living at home and go to New York City schools, right? We have staff who are working with those groups, and also we have a separate unit who with a residential who are working with the residential schools out of state.
Okay, the next question is Nina. Well, technically, I'm going to read this question. It's not in the main chat. It's in the private section. The question is we've been trying to email the front door, and no one has gotten back with us since November. We tried to reach any of the boroughs, the other boroughs. They said the only borough that they can reach is Brooklyn.
Well, that's interesting. We have Lucy on the phone. Lucy, are you in the meeting?
Yes, she is. Lucy? Oh, Maisie, are you there? Because I know I saw you.
I would suggest to connect with Lucy directly about the particular question about the issue with the front door, and also Crystal Sharp.
Yeah, and Nina, just for the record, I did forward those concerns to Lucy and Nina. The only concern right now, and I'm just saying this now, so therefore, is they're not having a problem with Brooklyn. It's the other boroughs, which I'm a little surprised hearing Manhattan and Bronx, because lately they do respond.
Right. We are regionalized, and the teams that are working, they are no longer separate Brooklyn or Queens or Metro. So it would be interesting to see where the comment is coming from and what is the issue.
Yes. Let me just get to the next question. Nina, the question I mentioned already was mentioned already. Oh, there is a question. This one is from Rochelle. She just put it in. She's mentioning the managed care report did not state how they will get inputs for individuals and families. What information? How can we get that information? Do we have any more information on that?
I believe on the website. I believe our OPWDD website has that information, can provide more information about the evaluation of the managed care.
And I will remind everyone, I do put this on the website. Once and Deborah will mention later on her report, but we do anything that comes down from Albany. And Nina, I just want to let you know, we put this on our news page, even on the homepage. If we have something that's important for OPWD, we'll let everyone know to please go to the news update page, because that does give you information that we need everyone to pay attention. And so far, it has been working, but just let everyone know, Nina is correct. It is on the website, but I will make sure to make it easier to everyone. I'll put the link into the website starting next week. So stay tuned on that one. Nina, do you have any additional questions for us or any comments? Because that was the last question.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Madam Chair, do you have anything for Nina? Because I'm all done with questions and hand raised.
Unmute me.
I didn't have to. You did that yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you did it yourself.
Okay.
I didn't touch anything.
Okay. Nina, first of all, I want to thank you very much for your answers and your concerns for our families. It is very rough because I know that the federal government wants to push that people should be able to live in the community, except I think because, and maybe this is only my opinion about that part, is they think they're saving money, but they're not, because not everybody is capable of living in a community of a lot of people. It depends on whether it's a developmental or a different type of disability. So I appreciate very much that, you were very open-minded and you're supportive. We know that there's major changes coming down the pipeline with OPWDD. One of the first is also.
Excuse me, actually, I'm sorry to interrupt. Lucy Amazing's back on.
Good.
I just, because that question, Lucy, this is Chris, can you unmute yourself?
Keep me unmuted.
Nina and I, there was a question that needs to be brought to your attention. Lucy, just want to make sure I can hear you. Just saw her, and she just came back on.
Yes. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes,
and see you with that beautiful background.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt Nina and Debbie, but Lucy's here, and the one question, Lucy, this is something that was in the questions in the private question. There is some concern that it's not in Brooklyn, but it's in the other boroughs, and I just don't understand how it could be Manhattan and the Bronx. But they're saying they're not getting emails back or phone call back from the front door.
You know what? I think this came up the last time that we had a meeting.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know specifics.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, as I said, our staff members are supposed to be in the office 3 days a week. And even when they're telecommuting, they're supposed to be responding to their phone calls. They're supposed to be responding to their emails. So if there are any particular, I know that this is something that I've taken back and has been addressed. If there's specific situations, that those can be brought to my attention and I'll follow up.
Lucy, just to make you laugh, Lucy, you're going to love this one. This is not a Brooklyn complaint. This is actually of other borough complaints, the 4 boroughs. Oh. So I just want to let you know, they said, this is what they said. Brooklyn is the only one that will answer or get back to them faster than a steel and bullet, ailing tall buildings in a single bound. So I just made up that part to make you laugh.
You know what? Thank you. That's even though I'm happy to hear that, but it's not totally comforting because we're no longer a Brooklyn office or a Manhattan or a Bronx office. We're all one big region. So that means that, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in Queens or in Manhattan or any other boroughs, I am not pleased with that because everybody's supposed to be doing the same thing. So I would still like to know specifically, I think everybody has my number or my email address in this meeting. But if not, they can always send you guys that information and you can forward it to me and I'll follow up. All right.
And I agree with everyone. If you have those concerns, guys, I'm going to remind you that later on my report. Okay, I hear an echo. Someone's microphone is on. I'm getting very upset. Hold on. Oh. Okay, guys, if I'm muting you, means I'm muting you. But please have a little courtesy with the microphones, please, because we do have someone who has hearing impairment. And that's really hurting that person's ear. And they
Chris, this is me. Chris, this is Deborah.
I know I can hear you,
Deborah, this is Lucy and Nina. I'm very glad you're saying that now it's a region, but you see, the one thing though is they're still keeping the advisory councils in all 5 boroughs. We will, if you I'm just putting this out. If you are having trouble reaching somebody, yes, let us know. We will forward it to Lucy and Mezzi, as we always have. If you want Nina to be, we'll do Nina. But we do keep everybody in know what, because I don't know how many times we've gotten the phone calls, and Mrs. Menino, our executive assistant, she gives us the info. We listen and we do our best to return the calls as timely as possible. Or we also let Miss O'Mazey as well as Nina Gretzky know what's going on. So please understand, we're doing our best. We understand it's frustrating, but maybe we also need to, I'm going to ask Nina and Lucy if we can eventually do a meeting. Can you update us with the changes now that are for New York City, so that the agencies and parents can understand exactly what is going on, so that we can take away the frustration. We also need to do another training for people to understand about the new changes to the reimbursement, the admin changes. So let me just tell everybody, we understand your frustrations, but I want you all to know that our DDRO staff are working very hard. And we have in New York City, we are the largest of getting services for OPWDD. It is not always easy, but let me tell you, they try very hard. And COVID was a big interferer. So does anybody have any more questions for Nina or Lucy?
Just to add one thing, because I'm gonna stop you, Madam Chair, because we do need to move on. Angela did put her information into the chat, and I will remind everyone.
Thank you, Angela.
Because Angela, I'm sorry, because right now we want to make sure, and I want to make sure everyone's paying attention to the chat because everyone's not really reading it. Please email Angela Blades, and I'm going to remind everyone, have a little courtesy to not just Angela, but everyone. They do get back to you as soon as possible. Remember, there's not just one person they have to handle. They have to handle 2.7 million people with disabilities or a family. Please, guys. And remember, President's Day is around that corner. It's a 3-day weekend. They will get back to you. But I remind you, please have the courtesy. They do get back to you. That I know in Brooklyn. I can only answer for our borough. I do need to move on because Deborah, you're next on your report. Nina, Lucy, I want to thank you so much. And I hope you can stay a little bit because we have some more surprises coming in. And Lucy and Nina, just to add this quick, if you have to leave, the redesign is going to be fixing your bus stop at the office area. So we will be discussing that in the next few months. So in case you have to leave, I'm just giving you that quick update. So I want to thank OPWDD with a fantastic report. I do want to get to Deborah's report and then get on to the subcommittee reports because we do have very important things coming up in next month. It's not just the legislative, not just the rally, but we have other things in March. It's going to start cooking hot stuff. So I do want to move on. Deborah, can you please give your chairperson's report, please, and any statewide?
Sure. Morning again. As I said, I will give you the report for first. Let's do the statewide. We will be meeting in April 26th. Our chairperson for the statewide is Chris Palegia. We are working to making sure that every advisory council's COI stands for conflict of interest so that we let them know, no, not because we work for OPW, we're part of the volunteer workforce. So we let them know if we have to do RFPs, sit on talk to them about whether it's a reimbursement site visit, if and when we can do it, because remember, they're just slowly lifting the emergency COVID protocols. But this has been done for a long time. The advisory councils did it in a different way, but now they want everyone to be uniform. We're also working to help everyone understand the new family support reimbursement regulations and how it's supposed to be done. If you're having issues or trouble, please let us know. I'm adding this in. On March 8th, we will be talking about reimbursement at the provider and family information. We are trying very hard to make sure everybody understands the new changes. And please remember something, and yes, I'll sound like a broken record, and all the advisory council members who represent their councils at the statewide as well as the chairs, none of the local family support coordinators were responsible. They did not make the changes. It was done by Central Albany. But I will tell you, they are open-minded to hear if we're having issues, what are the issues, and why. So please let us know. So the statewide members across, we are working together to make sure we get our system more streamlined. It's not easy, but it can be done. Also, we're trying to make sure family support programs are kept intact as much as possible, because to us it's extremely important. The advisory council, as you know, the next meeting will be same date as the joint meeting. And when we do the statewide, we will let you know, so that, because it will be on from, yes, it is at the moment, the same day as the joint meeting. But it's very important that we let you know what information. Now, this is even more important. Here's Winnie Schiff, is the chief executive for the Interagency Council of Developmental Disabilities Agency. This afternoon at 2 p.m., and we have the link for you, as you can see, inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting. What is it? The DD Council Budget Briefing. This is for 5 boroughs, not just one, all 5. So if you have questions that you need forwarded to Ms. Schiff about the budget or any concerns, please put it in our chat. We will download, save it, and make sure she receives the questions. We cannot guarantee that anybody will be able to ask questions. So that's why it is extremely important that I'm asking you to put everything in the chat. If you don't want to do the chat, then email the advisory council. You can always email me at it's B as in boy, F as in Frank, S as in Sam. Wait, I'm saying it wrong. Bfssac at yahoo.com. Please just email me, and we will see that they get the information. The same if you have questions for Nina, Lucy, Angela, and you didn't write down their emails, the address clearly, please forward it to us.
I'm going to interject you. That email went into the chat already, and it's already in
Good.
there. It's just that right now, the main focus is the chat does have this afternoon meeting and the legislative information. And that information is also available on our website, and I will be mentioning that later on.
That is basically my report. But as I said, there is one thing I find it's very important. Since we are a statewide committee, the advisory councils have statewide, the governor, and it was brought to the attention that we also have a counterpart, the statewide Developmental Disability Advisory Council. It is not possible for us to always meet in person. So we're asking that they take away the requirement that we have to all be there in person or it's not a quorum. Taking into account that we are parents, and many times we may have an emergency with our child, whether it's the care or somebody's supposed to watch it, but we can't. So we have to stay home to be there for the child so that we can continue to prepare at the meetings and not put our council, not that it wasn't official because we didn't have the so-called official quorum. So I do hope everybody will support that, as will help the 2 advisory councils, the DD Statewide Advisory and the Family Support Advisory Council. Because also remember, we have some of our members on the statewide come from the North Country, not far from Vermont and the Canadian border. Also Rochester out west near Buffalo, where they've gotten those horrendous snowstorms. So please help us support that and let the governor know that you want to be passed into law. So this way we can always make sure we're intact, we meet, and we won't have the problems that we won't be considered official because we don't have a quorum. It's extremely important. So with that, Christopher, is there anybody there raising their hands to ask me questions?
There was one question. I don't know if Lisa, do you want to answer Deborah's question you have, or we want to pass? Can you please unmute yourself? Lisa B, I'm going to click on you so you can unmute yourself. Can you? Do you have a question for Deborah? Lisa B, I know you had a question earlier. Unless we already answer it, I'm gonna move on. Oh, no, she didn't. I'm gonna move on to. We just double check. Um, just gonna double check. Actually, there is no questions for you. I think all the questions went to Nina and Lucy.
Okay, I thank everybody.
Okay.
I just want everybody to know that you can always email us, call, and if you have my cell phone, yes, I answer text messages too. And we will be very happy to help you with the best of our ability. We are this is the Brooklyn Family Support Advisory Council. We do work together with the reason we do a joint meeting with the Brooklyn DD councils. We wanted to make it easier during this pandemic time to be able to meet so that we can work together as a team. Most likely we will be continuing because it's not always easy for us to get meeting spaces. So for the moment, from now until at least the end of June, we will be staying virtual unless any other changes come up, but we will be staying that way. All right. Okay, Christopher, it's time for your report. Or you want me to do that for you?
Actually, it's time for the DD Council. Let me do as Vice Chair the DD Council time. And I'm going to mute you as well because I got to concentrate and don't need echoing meetings. Just to let everyone know that before I do all the subcommittees, as Deborah mentioned, the website, guys, please use the website. It does tell you the meetings, does tell you what things are going on the website, and to find information in the city, out of the city, or somewhere around the New York region. So that one thing I will mention more. Just before I do this, the subcommittee reports. Going to remind, as Deborah mentioned, the next meeting is March 15th. The topic is we're going to have the 3 CCOs will be attending. So I am going to remind everyone, we're going to let the 3 CCOs speak, and then we do questions and answers once they're all finished. So they're all 3 are going to join with us next month. Please pass the word out to everyone. This will be going on the website starting next week and on the email. So when you email the advisory, you get a massive message of meeting schedules for that month. Please note, this is not including last minute adjustments or cancellations. A meeting could be added or canceled without our noting, or could be changed like a snap of the finger. So I am going to move on to that. And since I'm going to hold on to questions after I finish, I'm going to ask Deborah to do the Provider Information Committee report quickly. And then I'm going to do the transition and then my report. Deborah, I'm going to unmute you so you can click that, please. And then please say.
Good morning. Again, okay, our previous Family and Provider Information Committee met, and we were on February 8th. Our speaker was Ivana Rodriguez. We were talking about how to get home care for your family member who has development disability or for the whole family. It was very well, and we did well, and we did get a lot of information out. Our next meeting is, as I said before, it's going to be Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, 9:45. Please sign in. The meeting will start at 10 a.m. Topic: update family reimbursement. This is the meeting to get all your questions hopefully answered, but please let your families know. Families, you have questions, everybody, because the way they've changed family reimbursement, it does mix up a lot of people because for years we're used to it being one way and now it's a different way. So I'm asking everyone, please, you can even email questions to us in advance to the advisory council, and we'll be very happy to make sure that the speakers get your questions. So with that, I'm saying thank you. I'm done.
Anyone have any questions on the Provider Information Committee? Or as well as the next meeting? Okay, and since I don't see, let me just double check. I'll check the chat one more time. Okay, Susan Jennings, I'm going to remind you again, can you please unmute yourself because you're not being very specifically. of the links. Please be specific what you're saying. Can you please unmute yourself? You're on. Go ahead.
Hello?
Susan, you can speak now. I don't hear you.
Susan, I can't.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. I was wanting to see if the link for that, the family reimbursement meeting on March 8th could be in the chat. So that I could.
The last time I put something, Susan, to answer that question, the last time I put a link on, it's not going to work that way. The links the link is the same link that is on every month. It is on AR website. We will be email again starting the next week, because right now that's a March schedule meeting, and I will be putting that up. It's the same code that we've been using. It's the same code for this meeting as well. But I just last time I put something in the chat, people can copy and paste it, and it doesn't work easy for them.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Just want to be clear. Mm-hmm.
And we hope you'll be there with questions.
Yes. Okay. Let me move on. Okay, because that was the last question. Okay, now I am going to remind everyone, transition meeting is tomorrow at this time. That is their link on Zoom. If you have a question about that, please email the two representatives from that committee. I'm going to remind everyone that meeting is February 16th, and I remind you, all subcommittee is on our website. That too, and I remind everyone, this is not putting last-minute adjustments. It means a meeting could be moved, canceled, something that we don't control. So we do ask you to double check before you go to the meeting. So therefore, that is their committee meeting, their schedule. If anyone has any questions about the transition one, say it now, say your piece, and I'm going to double check the chat because I see two chats coming in. Since everyone's putting their announcements on the chat, hold on to your announcements because we were doing that in a few minutes. Now, before I do my report, do we have any elected officials or their representatives here? They want to say something? And please unmute yourself and please identify yourself. Last month, we did have some representatives here, and I'm going to say, okay, since we don't have any elected official representatives, or they already have nothing to add, so we'll move on to my report, and I will just go from there. First of all, before I do anything, just to remind everyone, some people got a lot of confusion information during the last few months regarding COVID and the flu. Now, this gentleman, and I know Carrie Banks can vouch with me because she was at the MOPED meeting. Keith Johnson, who asked me to put this information out, and it's on our website, has the update on COVID, the flu, and any other disease that is coming. So I'm going to say whatever kind of disease, because we don't know, something can happen, which we all praying that we don't think of that. This is an update. Now, just to let everyone know, when you have the flu, it does react to the COVID. This is from Keith told me. That means the numbers are sometimes a little confusing, and it does throw off the numbers. It's not just COVID numbers. It could be the flu numbers or the Omicron. I can't say the name because it's very hard. So the numbers are down since the last week of December, and it's been going down. But I remind everyone, if you start getting a cold, don't take a COVID test because it does react. If you get a sinus infection, that will throw you off as well. They're asking you, if you don't feel well, please stay home. One other thing they did mention the other day, and it's here as well, I'm going to say, if you have severe asthma, they're asking you to wear a washable mask because so you don't feel like you're coughing or choking. And I'm seeing this a lot at the hospitals. A lot of people are catching asthma attacks or having coughing really hard and hurting their respiratory. Please be very careful on that as well. So this is the information that's here, and it's on the website, also on our news page as well. The other thing I want to be very clear, because it might be confusing to everyone, and I did double check this, city hospitals, it will still stay on as wearing masks in the city. Because remember, in city, Adams did not discuss that yet, and the governor agrees with that. So on any city hospitals will still be wearing a mask. State hospitals or any clinics are optional. And please note, when I say optional, it means they can still say you have to still wear your mask there, or you don't have to. Please check the signs when you're there. So the reason I'm going to say optional, things can change. So be on alert. And that's including on the subways, buses, and etc. Masks are optional. So you do see people wearing masks on the train. Some maybe not. Some are. We don't need anyone to be the judge and jury. Please just let them do what they want, okay? Just carry hand sanitizer. That's why I have my supersized ones. I do, hand sanitize myself, wash my hands if I get a chance. But, hand sanitizer is the best way. And I'm going to remind everyone, as Deborah mentioned this, and I know Joyce mentioned this, please go on to our website and make sure you see your elected officials. That's state, federal, or city. The reason I'm going to say this, our elected officials are here and they need to hear from you. And that could be anything from transportation, healthcare, anything. Please try to do that, okay? On that. It is very important that they need to see you guys. And I know there's a lot of events coming up with them. Please check our website for any events and trainings and get a chance to meet with them. And have a meeting with their staff as well. Because a lot of the staff needs to know this too, so we can all work together. It doesn't matter which party they're in. Guys, we have to work together as a team. And we need to continue that this year in 2023. So let's move on to good news. And I know a lot of us said, oh, I saw him. Oh, sorry, guys. I'd like to report part of our city budget years ago when Joyce, Ernie, Renzo, and we worked on this. We worked on a city thing to work. It's not just city, but it's everywhere. I'd like to report we have now a new customer centers. We don't have to go to Stone Street. We don't have to go to the reduced fuel vehicles. Now you can go to the next train stations, which is Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue, which is the main central one, and Atlantic Avenue, Barclay Center, which is not central, but it is a site. There will be customer staff wearing yellow or sometimes orange because they're still getting the vests. This means you can energize your, you can still get assistance getting your card fixed, your Metro card, get a sign up for the reduced fare card, and to choose the Omni card or the app. The choice is yours. And this is all at these two, they're all the stations. Oh, in Brooklyn, Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue, and Atlantic Avenue, Barclay Center. Now, please note, the other one is in Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. There will be more coming in soon. So I will put that list right now. Right now, you saw the 3 stations that are listed. The next set will be one at Myrtle Wyckoff / Brooklyn / Queens. The other ones will be in Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, and soon there will be one in Staten Island. So stay tuned on that. Now, some of you might ask me, what's wrong with Accessorize? Their system is being repaired and upgraded, but there is a new app that instead of you guys calling on the phone and driving nuts with your hair, whatever hair I have left, but that's a joke, please make sure that you are signing up for the Accessorize app. If you already have it, you should have gone to your Google or your Apple Play where you have the app and update your app. Once you do that, re-sign in to your Accessorize account, and you can register for your Accessorize. Now, I'm going to let you know it's better to do it in 48 hours than 24 hours. You can still do 24, but not so close to the day you're going that day. So please be very careful. And right now, the tracking system right now is not 100% working right now. As I just told you, they're updating the system. Once we know that, I will let everyone know. So please stay tuned. You can still sign in your Accessorize and still put your complaints in there. Much faster and much quicker as well. Now, also, we are coming up to the crunch end of the Brooklyn redesign. The next one is this coming Thursday, and I'm going to apologize if the thing is small, but it is on our website schedule. The next one is District 12, which is Borough Park, Kensington, and Ocean Parkway. We already did the other further up north ends already, so now we're heading down to the numbers. We are going to be hitting Canarsie, parts of Mill Mason, that end also, as well as East Flatbush. They're still going to be there, as well as part of Broadway Junction, East New York, so you can still attend. You're all welcome. There's one for 6:30 to 7:30, and then 7:30 to 8:30. So don't worry, just go onto the link, excuse me, and then just join. And I'm going to remind you that you can put all your comments and questions, whatever kind of bus, as well as DOT. Now, we remind everyone this. You still have time to email Sarah Berry, as well as the same email, to ask her to do the Omni Reduced Fare presentation, which we already did it, but it's not wrong. It's nothing wrong for you guys to come and let them come and do it. They can do it virtually or in person. So please make sure you have that. As a reminder, as Deborah mentioned this also, please make sure you email us or call us. And I will say, no, if you call us between the hours of only 9:30 to 5:30, we will get back to you as soon as possible. But I am going to remind everyone, if you do not leave a clear and slowest message, it does get very hard to understand what you're saying. We are reminding you to please raise your voice a little bit and please speak clearly. We also remind you we do have an email, we have a website, please use that as well. Does anyone else have any questions? Questions? And I see there are 5 chats, so I'm going to check them as well. Which I read. Oh, thank you, Carrie. That is great news. Yes, it is. It is great news because we made history. Yes. But I do want to know, does anyone else have questions? And let me check. Okay, that's a private question, which I'm not going to answer that. Okay. Going to remind everyone, the masks are still optional on the buses and subway. And I'm going to remind you, everyone, once those buses go into the depot, and I'm going to use Jackie Gleason for a reason, they do not just wash the outside of the bus, but they do clean the inside of the bus. Because even Debbie can vouch with me, sometimes we do sneeze a lot, not sneeze, but we do have to wear our mask because some of the stuff is a little strong, and we cannot help ourselves because you want the bus clean, you want the bus decently, but I got to remind everyone, please try not to make a mess on the bus because then we have to put the bus out of service. And remind everyone, masks are still optional. So I'm just going to go from there as well. Since any other questions I should know, Madam Chair, do you have any questions on your end? You can just shake your head. Thank you. Okay. Since no one else has any questions, or they can wait till later, I'm going to get ready for announcements. And I'm going to remind everyone, please raise your hand so I can see it. Or I'm going to call people because I don't like that. So who has announcements? Who already put it in the chat, which I'm not going to read the whole world. Okay. Carrie Banks, starting the first pitch.
You know me, I always like to be first out of the box.
Well, there's
Hi,
some,
all.
it's you or Dolores Kahn, always like that, who wants to fight for first. Like
Yay,
that.
I won today.
And now we're talking, yes. Go ahead,
All right.
Carrie.
So we have some new and exciting workshops coming up. I have put them in the chat, but I'll just give you a heads up. The first is on a partnership with Adapt Community Network, and that's on March 4th, and that's a roadmap to OPWDD services. And we can, they will be available to answer some of the questions that came up here, but also just, talking people through that process. And if details are in the chat. And then we also, sorry, I'm looking to the side at the thing. We're doing something new for the first time. Sometimes when there is an open ACS case, parents are required to take parenting classes that are not always easy to find. So we are now offering those at the library. These are classes, certified classes for families who have been mandated to take the classes as a condition of clearing their ACS case. So that's the exploring the circle of security parenting model. I'm very excited about this. We want to make sure that everyone has access to these programs. And then there's another, as a bonus, that same organization is doing a series for us on raising children with disabilities. So again, the information is in the chat. The topics will be different every time. If you know a parent or are a parent that needs that certification, you must attend all of the workshops that start on March 1st. And then we've got some great children's and teen stuff coming up, and you can go onto our website at bklynlibrary.org/inclusive-services, and I will put that in the chat to find out more about our programs for children and teens. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Carrie, I do have a message for you from Cliff Davies. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they couldn't be here, but they did want me to tell you thank you again.
Oh, this is so important.
Because
supporting
now,
families, children and families is what we are here for at Inclusive Services. So this was an obvious way to go with this. So please help us get the word out.
yes, and Carrie, can you please make sure you email me all that good stuff so I can blast it onto the website so I can have bragging rights?
Of course, you haven't already gotten it. I thought someone else was supposed to send it to you.
No,
Okay.
it's not the Miss Carrie thanks. And I still have my good voice.
All right, I'll send it today, Chris.
Thank you.
Do you need the flyers or just the write-ups?
I like the write-up because a lot of the families, and I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of the families actually like that, and the links you do, it makes it more ADA accessible. I'm getting a lot of compliments about that.
All right, so write-ups and links. Got it.
Yeah, if you do the links, it goes faster, and it's also easy ADA accessible, because I have received, and I'm glad you brought that up, Carrie. You ready to hear this one? We're not even the end of this month yet, but our website numbers are higher than I ever seen. And you already passed last year's February numbers, which was almost, I lost count already.
That's great news, Chris. And I think it really speaks to both to the service that you provide and to the increase in people's needs. So let's keep this up.
I'll drink to that later.
All right.
But I do have another question to ask you.
Yeah.
They're asking for your email address.
I'll put it in chat right away, as soon as I'm off mic.
That's okay. Just letting you know, that's the only other question. That's all I have. They're all saying,
great.
They're all saying, we love our programs. We're so glad we can finally go back in person.
Me too. I missed everybody. I love a good online meeting, but there's nothing like being in person.
And Carrie, we'll be talking about something surprise. I'm not going to say, but you and I will talk later another month.
Looking forward to it, Chris.
We want to do this. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
But thank you, Carrie. And I'm going to.
Thank you all.
Let me get to our next person. She's another famous person. I think we all know her. Sandy Baber.
Oh, hi, everyone. Hi, it's Sandy Naper from ADAPT Community Network, and we have some very exciting free webinars coming up. They will all be provided with Spanish and Mandarin interpretation, so you should know that. And to register for any of them or all of them, you can email familyconnect@adaptcommunitynetwork.org or call 718-436-7979, extension 704. Now, the first one that will be coming up is on Thursday, March 9th. It's called Play With Me and I'll Be Smarter. Many of us love to see our children play, but we don't know how it affects their development. And in this workshop, we will discuss all the ways in which play for young children lays essential foundations for social skills, problem solving, literacy, and math skill development. And the next, our great speaker will be Dr. Lydia Seufer. She's a language pathologist, and she's been doing this for over 45 years. So we hope you'll join us. The next one coming up is on Thursday, March 16th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And it's called The Roadmap to Obtaining Eligibility for Supports and Services for Your Family. And our Kate Gottlieb, who is the Project Connect coordinator for ADAPT, will be doing this very informative webinar where you'll learn how to apply for OPWDD services and more. So we hope you'll join us on March 16th. And last but not least, on March 21st from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., Lindsay Beal, who is a great occupational therapist, will be presenting sensory smart strategies for real life challenges. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great rest of the day.
Not so fast, Miss Sandy. We have a question for you in the chat.
Okay.
The question is these workshops going to soon go back in person?
They're Zoom.
I know that
Yeah, they're virtual.
But they just answered me this question.
Yes, they're virtual.
Huh?
They are virtual.
And the other question is nice background.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Gotta get you guys in a good laugh. But thank you again, Sandy. And can you please make sure you email me those so I can add that to the website so we can all say, if you want her autograph, you have to charge her. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Absolutely, Chris. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Michael, I'm going to say Michael from Care Design. Can you please unmute yourself and please mention your announcement, please? Cares of New York State. Can you please unmute yourself? And just let everyone know, Carrie Banks put her information into the chat. Please read that. Okay, see, he disappeared once I said it. Okay, so I'm going to go to Wayne Clark from My Time Inc. Wayne. Wayne Clark from My Time. Wayne, do you have an announcement? We know that. I can see you too.
Not really, but I'll be here just again.
Wayne, you're breaking a little bit apart. You have an echo in that area. Do you have?
Okay,
Go ahead.
I'll just put it in the chat, Chris.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you. Let me just double check. Matt from YEI, can you please announce your announcement? Because there's people who have questions about what you put in. Can you please say what you're saying on the announcement, please?
Yes. Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Yes. So I was announcing YEI does have openings for the ballet yoga and social skills program for the young kids, and they do need to have an autism diagnosis. They are virtual programs. So please, if you're interested in that, give us a call or an email. Additionally, the BCAP and the Saturday recreation programs, which are, Medicaid waiver programs, we do have openings in those programs. Additionally, BCAP is Saturday mornings, early afternoon, and then Saturday recreation is at the nighttime. And that's, like I said, Medicaid waiver. So give us a call or email if you're interested in that. We have the Parent with Special Needs program, emergency respite reimbursement, family reimbursement, and in-home behavior management programming. As always, just if you have any interest in these programs or just general questions, always give us a call or an email. We are responding to all inquiries within 4 business days. And our Article 16 clinic, we do have openings for psychological, psychosocials, autism evaluations for people with Medicaid, as well as psychotherapy services, occupational, physical, and speech therapy. Chris, I think that's about it. You said
there is a question.
people have questions?
Yeah, there is a question that's in the private sector. That's why you can't see that one. Where is the psychological testing located, please? Because they've been having. Let me finish this question so I can say. They've been having trouble reaching you guys on their phone. How can we contact an easier way?
Let me put it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
The Article 16 phone number.
Somebody did ask you earlier, but everyone's putting stuff in the chat. They're asking for a phone number.
Yes, I'm putting the phone number in the chat. It's 212-273-6100 at extension 4998. And their email, which I'm going to put right now, is Article 16 referrals at yei.org. So those are the 2 contacts, their phone number and the email.
Did you email that to us? Because I did not check our email.
I did not, but I did email you the vacancy listing. That's what I emailed you.
Can you email whatever you just put in? I want to make sure it's matching, so I want to make sure I don't have any mistakes and errors.
Yes.
Thank you. Just want to make sure on that one. And thank you again, Matthew, because they're all saying thank you. And
of course.
Happy Go Ahead Fa Choi.
Oh, thank you. Go Ahead Fa Choi.
Yes. Let me thank you, Matt. Let me just double check. Does anyone Fran from City Access, do you have an announcement? And I like to smell announcements.
Hi, sorry, I couldn't get myself unmuted. How is everybody?
Well, I'm awake now. You just woke up. You just woke me up more now. Now I'm up now.
Okay. Hope everyone's doing well. Basically, I would like to tell you that we do have some day hab without walls spaces. Please, any care managers, contact us at 718-285-6548, or I'll put my email in on the chat. That's basically it. We are having our annual gala on May 5th. We will be having our beeping egg hunt in April, date to be determined, and just a lot of good things happening. We have been able, our SEMP program is rapidly growing, and we have been able to place many individuals in jobs, and we're very, very proud of that. And that's it. Otherwise, all is well. Thank you, everyone.
Fran, can you please email us the advisory council email so I can add that to our service opening list so I can keep that updated, please?
Sure, I will.
And it's right there on the screen.
Okay.
And I'm going to repeat one more time. Does anyone else have an announcement, questions, comments? Please say it now before your piece. And I'm putting this on the chat as well. And, we do have a question in the private section. Before I do that. Oh, she's still here. Angela Blaze, can you please unmute yourself for a second? There is a question that's not on your side, it's on my side. Somebody's asking you, how are you doing? Because everyone has been, this is one advocate has been concerned about you. And they're asking, can I please just ask, how is she doing?
Who is asking about me, may I ask?
It's one of the parent groups that I promised not to mention. Let's just say it's one of the agencies you and I and Debbie attended a couple of years ago before COVID. I'm just going to go that close. It's one of the, let's just say it's one of the Asian communities.
Well, thank you for asking about me. I am hanging in here just like the rest of us. I'm working from home and in the office a very, very short periods of time, but I'm primarily working from home. So if you need to get hold of me for any reason, the email is the fastest and the best way. I usually return it during the same day. And it'd be really nice to know who wants to know who I'm talking to. Anyway,
I promise
thank
not
you guys for being so supportive all this, throughout this COVID, and especially the agencies with all these changes. I really appreciate all your assistance.
And Angela, there is a question that I know someone is scared to say it, and I'm going to say this. And if you want to kill them, I'll back you up. They're all bugging me about the family support guidebook.
You're right, Angela, they are. They keep asking us, when is the new one coming out? And I'm like, it's just January 2023. So I just want you to know, they keep asking us the same thing. And I keep saying, the current one at the moment is on the website.
I have not updated the guide as of yet. I'm sure it will be updated sometime during this year. It will not be this month, that's for sure. But I'm pretty sure it'll be updated during this year, as COVID is kind of leaving us. Well, not leaving us, but not as prevalent as it was before. So I might be able to get answers to my questions now. So hopefully it will be done this year.
And just to remind everyone that if you know that something's changed, and I know Angela, you agree with me on this one, please email Angela Blades with any information change, as well as send us to us, because then we can just say, please note the agency has moved this location at this borough, New York, zip code. So therefore, we will make sure so information can be shared out. So does that make sense what I'm saying, Angela?
It would make sense if I was updating the book right now, but I'm not. When I'm ready to update it, I will send out the paperwork for the agencies to update it.
Thank you, Angela. And I do appreciate it, because this will get everyone to, guys, we just started this year. It's February. If you want her autograph, you're gonna have to she charges. Since no one else has any announcements, questions, comments, and I can see that everyone is doing well, I'm going to remind everyone for the last and final time on the next joint meeting is, well, at least my thing works. The next joint meeting is March 15th. And again, topic is care coordination organization planning of 2023. All three of them will be there to mention their new updates or whatever they have. Please make sure you pass the word out. Have your questions, have your comments ready. If you do not want to speak, but you want to put your comments in, you can send, as Deborah mentioned, you can email to us, or on the day you can leave it on the chat, which I will not say the person's name. But if you want to be private, you could put it in the private section of the chat. And there we'll go there. Remind everyone that also this meeting does start at 9:55, which we did today. We like to try to start on time. So please pass the word out. This will be added to the website starting next week. And I remind you, as Joyce said it, Deborah said it, everyone's been saying it, please don't forget that later on today is the budget meeting. The link is also on. I already put it onto the chat for like 4 times already. Please make sure you go to that link. If you can't make it, don't worry. Don't kill yourself. But I will say this. We will keep you up to date on that as well. And I'll remind everyone, please make sure that you visit our website. If you have service openings, which I mentioned to the agencies a few minutes ago, please make sure you put that in. Since no one else has any questions, and since we are now running really good today, I'd like to thank everyone who attended today for this joint meeting, and we'll see everyone next month. And I hope to see everyone this afternoon at the budget meeting. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. This is Christopher D. Wright, the Vice Chair of the Brooklyn DD Council, with Deborah Wright right there, saying, enjoy the day, enjoy your President's Day, and have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.